Let me continue to read the story, Confection from a Monkey by Haruki Murakami. It was a little past 10 when the monkey came to the Arizo suite, bearing a tray with 2 large bottles of beer. Like he said, I had no clue why they had named the room Rugged Shore. Japanese inns did tend to give names to each of their rooms, but still, it was a seedy-looking room, more like a storage closet, with nothing whatsoever to conjure up any element of that name. Besides the beer, the tray had a bottle opener, 2 glasses, plus some snacks, dried, seasoned squid, and a bag of kakipi crunchy snacks, small pieces of rice crackers with peanuts, typical bar snacks. That was one attentive monkey. The monkey was dressed now in a thick, long-sleeved shirt with I Love New York printed on it, and gray suede pants, probably some hand-me-down kids' clothes. There wasn't a table in the room, so we sat down, side by side, on thin Sabuton cushions, and leaned back against the wall. The monkey used the opener to pop the cap on one of the beers and poured out 2 glasses. Silently, we clinked our glasses together in a little toast. "Thanks for the drinks," the monkey said, and happily gulped back the cold beer. I drank some as well. Honestly, it felt odd to be seated next to a monkey, sharing a beer, but I guess you get used to it. "A beer after work can't be beat," the monkey said, wiping his mouth with the hairy back of his hand. But being a monkey, the opportunities to have a beer like this are few and far between. "Do you live here, at your workplace?" "Yes, there is a room, sort of an attic, where they let me sleep. There are mice from time to time, so it's hard to relax there. But I'm a monkey, so I have to be thankful to have a bed to sleep in and 3 square meals a day. Not that it's a paradise or anything." The monkey had finished his first glass, so I poured him another. "Much obliged," he said plainly. "Have you lived not just with humans, but with your own kind? With other monkeys, I mean?" I asked. There were so many things I wanted to ask him. "Yes, several times," the monkey answered, his face clouding over a little. The wrinkles beside his eyes formed deep folds. "For various reasons, I was driven out forcefully from Shinagawa and released in Takashikiyama, the area down south famous for its monkey park. I thought at first I could live peaceful there, but things didn't work out that way. The other monkeys are my dear compatriots, don't get me wrong, but having been raised in a human household by the professor and his wife, I just couldn't express my feelings well to them. We had a little in common, and communication wasn't easy." "You talk funny," they told me. They sort of made fun of me and bullied me. The female monkeys would giggle when they look at me. Monkeys are extremely sensitive to the most minute differences. They found the way I act comical, and it annoyed them, even made them irritated sometimes. It got harder for me to stay with them, so eventually I went off on my own, turning into a rogue monkey, in other words. "It must have been lonely for you." Indeed, it was. Nobody protected me, and I had to scrounge for food on my own and somehow survive. But the worst thing was not having anyone to communicate with. I couldn't talk with monkeys or with humans. Isolation like that is a hard ending. Takeshikiyama is full of human visitors, but that didn't mean I could just start a conversation with whomever I happened to run across. Do that, and they would be hell to pay. The upshot was I wound up sort of neither here nor there, isolated monkey, not part of a human society, not part of the monkey's world. It was a harrowing existence. And you couldn't listen to Bruckner either. True, that's not part of my world anymore, the Shigegawa monkey said, and drank some more beer. I studied his face, but since it was right to begin with, I didn't notice it turning any redder. I figured this monkey could hold his liquor, or maybe with monkeys you can't tell from their faces when they're drunk. The other thing that really tormented me was relations with females. I see, I said. And by relations with females, you mean? To be brave, I didn't feel a speck of a sexual desire for female monkeys. I had a lot of opportunities to be with them, but never really felt like it. So female monkeys didn't turn you on, even though you are a monkey yourself. Yes, that's exactly right. It's embarrassing, but honestly, before I knew it, I could only love human females. I was silent and drained my glass of beer. I opened the bag of crunchy snacks and grabbed a handful. That could lead to some real problems, I would think. Yes, some real problems indeed. Me being a monkey, after all, there's no way I could expect human females to respond to my desires. Plus, it runs counter to genetics. I waited for him to go on. The monkey rubbed hard behind his ear and finally continued. So because of all this, I had to find another method of ridding myself of these unfulfilled desires. What do you mean by another method? The monkey frowned deeply. His red face turned a bit darker. You may not believe me, the monkey said. You probably won't believe me, I should say, but I started stealing the names of women I fell for. Stealing names? Correct. I'm not sure why, but I seem to have been born with a special talent for it. If I feel like it, I can steal somebody's name and make it my own. A wave of confusion hit me again. I'm not sure I get it, I said. When you say you steal a person's name, you mean that person completely loses their names? No, they don't totally lost their names. What I steal is a part of their names, a fragment. But when I do, the name becomes insubstantial, that much lighter than before. Like when the sun clouds over and your shadow on the ground gets that much paler. And depending on the person, they might not be aware of the loss. They just have a sense that something is a little off. But some do clearly realize it, right? There's a part of their names being stolen. Yes, of course, sometimes they find that they cannot remember their names. Quite inconvenient, a real bother, as you might imagine. And they don't even recognize their name for what it is. In some cases, they suffer through something close to an identity crisis, and it's all my fault. Since I stole that person's name, I feel very sorry about that. I often feel the weight of a guilty conscience bearing down on me. I know it's wrong. Yet I can't stop myself. I'm not trying to excuse my actions, but my dopamine level forces me to do that. Like there is a voice telling me, hey, go ahead, steal the name. It's not like it's illegal or anything. I folded my arms and studied the monkey. Dopamine? Finally, I spoke up. And the names you steal are only those of the women you love and sexually desire. Do I have that right? Exactly. I don't randomly steal just anybody's name. How many people's names have you stolen? With a serious expression, the monkey totaled it up on his fingers. As he counted, he was muttering something. He looked up. 7 in all. I stole 7 women's names. Was this a lot or not so many? Who could say? So how do you go about stealing names? I asked. If you don't mind telling me. It's mostly by willpower, power of concentration, psychic energy. But that's not enough. I need something with the person's name actually written on it. ID is ideal. A driver's license, student ID, insurance card or passport, things of this sort. A name tag will work too. Anyway, I need to get hold of an actual object like that. Mostly, I steal them. Stealing is the only way. As a monkey, I'm pretty skilled at sneaking into people's rooms when they are out. I scout around for something with their name on it and take it back with me. So you use that object with the woman's name on it along with your willpower and steal their name. Precisely. I stare at the name written there for a long time, focusing my emotions, absorbing the name of the person I love. It takes a lot of time and it's mentally and physically exhausting. I get completely engrossed in it and somehow am able to pull it off. A part of the woman becomes a part of me, and my affection and desire, which up until then had no outlet, are safely satisfied. So there's nothing physical involved. The monkey nodded sharply. I know I'm just a monkey, but I never do anything unseemly. I make the name of the woman I love a part of me. That's enough for me. I agree it's a bit perverted, but it's also a completely pure, platonic act. I simply possess a great love for that name inside me, secretly, like a gentle breeze wafting over a meadow. I said, impressed. I guess you could even call that ultimate form of romantic love. Agreed. It may well be the ultimate form of romantic love, but it's also the ultimate form of loneliness, like two sides of a coin. The two extremes are stuck together and can never be separated. Our conversation came to a halt there, and the monkey and I silently drank our beer, snacking on the kakipi and dried squid. Have you stolen anyone's name recently? I asked. The monkey shook his head. He grabbed some of the stiff hair on his arm, as if making sure he was indeed an actual monkey. No, I haven't stolen anyone's name recently. After I came to this town, I made up my mind to stop that kind of misconduct, thanks to which the soul of this wee little monkey has found a measure of peace. I treasure the names of the 7 women in my heart and live a quiet, tranquil life. I'm glad to hear it, I said. I know this is quite forward of me, but I was wondering if you would be kind enough to allow me to give my own personal opinion on the subject of love. Of course, I said. The monkey blinked widely several times. His long eyelashes waved up and down like a palm fronds in the breeze. He took a big, slow breath, the kind of a deep breath a long jumper takes before he starts to run. I believe that love is the indispensable fuel that allows us to go on living. Someday that love may end, or it may never amount to anything. But even if love fades away, even if it's unrequited, you can still hold on to the memory of having loved someone, or having fallen in love with someone. And that's a valuable source of warmth. Without that heat source, a person's heart and a monkey's heart, too, would turn into a bitterly cold, barren wasteland. A place where not a ray of sunlight falls, where the wildflower of peace, the trees of hope, have no chance to grow. I treasure the names of those 7 beautiful women I loved here in my heart. At this, the monkey laid a palm on his chest. I plan to use these memories as my own little fuel source. I burn on cold nights to keep me warm as I live out what's left my own personal life. The monkey chuckled again and lightly shook his head a few times. That's a strange way of putting it, isn't it? He said. Personal life. I'm a monkey, not a person. But